we've spent a solid amount of time on all the X-Men movies, on all the Wolverine movies, on all the Deadpool movies, and
Yep.
we couldn't predict that Deadpool 3, Deadpool Wolverine would sort of need all that backstory. But it turns out that Deadpool 3, Deadpool and Wolverine was kind of like the culmination of all the 20th Century Fox X-Men stuff slammed together, plus a bunch of extra things. It's
Yeah,
actually
without a doubt.
it's
Yep.
actually a very crazy movie. Not just because it's Deadpool and Ryan Reynolds, but just because of what they were trying to do and trying to say. And it was really, I don't know how I feel about it as far as like if I liked it or not. Did I enjoy myself? Yeah, I think I did enjoy myself watching this movie. So I guess I did like it. Um, but I was
It's
beside.
hard. I think it's hard not to enjoy yourself while watching this movie.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Mike, what did you think?
I mean, unless you're just the type of person that can't deal with certain types of content.
I was really trying
But
not to like this movie, like because the 90% of the movie is just childish sexual jokes, like nonstop. And after a while, it's like,
well,
no, it is.
is it?
There's nothing else there. Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
a hundred. It's
there's a lot of that. There's a lot of that for
no,
sure.
there's not a lot of it. It's almost all of it. Like you can't count how many anal sex references this movie has. It's in the thousands. It's funny, but like after a while you're laughing about the same joke over and over again. Um
I did like where at the beginning, awesome fight scene. We've got Deadpool fighting against a bunch of TVA thugs using the skeleton of Wolverine as weapons.
as the song Bye 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 by NSYNC was playing, as I guess Ryan Reynolds in Deadpool costume is dancing.
Oh yeah, it's got to be him. It's got to be him.
If you want to do something funny, go to YouTube, type in "bye bye bye," watch the video, and if you go to the comments, there's comments from people who watched Deadpool 3 talking about how they went to the video because of Deadpool 3. It's actually really
Right.
really funny. And like I don't know.
But there's one particular part of that scene where he uses like one of the bones of Wolverine, hits one of the TVA guys in the junk, and then his hand like slips down the bone. It just
No, that's all. That's pretty much all the jokes, and
slides down the bone.
yeah, no, it's pretty much all those jokes. It's like for the whole movie, those jokes are just.
I liked that one though. I liked it.
It's just a lot of those. I mean, and like shout out to Ryan Reynolds. He's funny and he knows how to make funny jokes and he knows how to laugh. But
Right.
but it's interesting. This was done during the writer's strike, and he had to pay out of his own pocket 2 writers to work on the movie. And so a lot of this is him, a lot of this is those writers, but if you like a lot of this is Ryan Reynolds 100%. But there's a downside to that too, which I'll talk about later about why some of the plot problems of the movie occurred, and that's definitely because it didn't have enough writers in the film.
Yeah, looking back at it, I think the plot's definitely the weakest part of the movie.
It's so weak.
But it almost doesn't need a plot.
No, it doesn't.
Right?
Well, no. Okay, so I'm not ready to talk about that yet.
Okay.
No, you know what? Let's talk about it right now.
I will say, I don't think the movie really needed a villain.
Okay, so the movie. Here's the problem with the movie. The biggest problem,
or at least the villain that's set up in the movie.
Here's the biggest problem with the movie. The biggest problem right now with the movie is that a lot of the issues you have with the plot were not addressed, and here's a couple of them that I'm just going to talk about on top of my head. At the beginning of the movie, he is in the 616 adjacent, quote unquote, adjacent universe, pretty much the MCU main universe, the sacred timeline. He's there talking to Happy Hogan of the Avengers. So Deadpool is in the universe where the Avengers are, and he wants to join the Avengers. He's wearing Cable's time bracelet from Deadpool 2. It's never explained that he used that bracelet to travel to a different timeline, but you just have to assume that he did. But there's no we don't know why he's there exactly. It's a joke. It's a funny scene, but we don't exactly know why he's there or why he decided to go there. So that's the first one. Second, there's this underlying plot that Vanessa and him had an argument about him, and like she said, you need to do something for yourself, blah blah blah. That doesn't work.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah,
that
yeah.
Vanessa thing doesn't work the entire movie. She's in a couple scenes. She has six lines, and
She
that
was the driving force of the second Deadpool movie, and that worked, I think.
yeah,
But
but
in this movie, yeah, it
not in
doesn't
this one.
really.
And like we don't.
Right.
The only motivation he has is like he has to save his universe and his friends from getting killed because the universe is dying.
Right.
That
I think
makes
that was enough. That was
that's
enough.
enough. But the underlying Vanessa thing is not enough. And to be honest with you,
Right.
she shouldn't have
I
been.
agree with
She
that.
probably shouldn't have been in the movie. Like it
Well,
just
I
did
mean, it
it.
was okay her being in the movie, I guess,
I
but just
guess it
like
just did.
trying to make that part of his motivation just didn't really work.
No, and like I guess like even the part of him that he wants to stop being a mercenary, and for 6 years he was selling used cars. That's funny, I guess, but like not really. And like, it's just very the plot. Like some of the jokes they were trying to make as interfering with the actual understanding of the plot. So that's part of it. Another big plot hole is that they created the idea of an anchor being, like a being that anchors the entire timeline. That's a new concept for the
Right.
movies for people who pay attention to the TVA and stuff like that. And like, what? Why is
But it
that?
kind of lines up with that dumb, the Doctor Strange thing where he couldn't save
Yeah,
his girlfriend. Yeah,
because
but it's
like
kind of the same thing.
because that event is so
Right.
central to the universe that if you undo it, it won't work. Yeah, that kind of makes sense. But and here's the biggest one, Mike. I don't think that you. But this is a big one. We have to talk about this for at length. I don't want to spend too much time on it because we'll talk about it all day. Deadpool. Which universe does Deadpool exist in?
Yeah, that's a good question. He's certainly not in the 616 at the beginning
No,
of the movie, or the 1999999,
no,
whatever it is. He's not in either one of those
no.
because he's in a different universe somehow from where he was in the previous two Deadpool movies, I think.
Mm,
Because all of his friends are still alive,
yeah,
and they all died in Deadpool 2.
yeah, and also I think he's supposed to exist in the X-Men universe, but that's a problem because the
But
X.
at the end of Deadpool 2, in one of the post credit scenes, he goes through cleaning the timelines.
Yeah, so that might have been something with that. But also, it's like, okay, Logan, which universe does Logan exist in? And this is a problem because here's my thinking. I thought
Right.
that Logan existed in a different timeline. The X-Men, different timeline. And to be honest with you, Deadpool, different timeline. Apparently, no, they're all in the 20th Century Fox timeline. I'm just going to say the 20th Century Fox timeline. But if
Yeah.
that's the case, if Logan's the anchor being, that happens in the future, like the way future. And so, like, how does Deadpool know that Logan dies, or even how he dies?
I think you're thinking about this too hard.
Who, me?
Yeah.
Well, no, I'm thinking about this too hard because it's a plot problem. It's a logistic. Now, if you don't think about it at all, you don't have to care about it.
Yeah.
You just laugh at the dick jokes and it's all fun. But if you have watched a lot of these movies, and there's a
Yeah.
lot of Marvel movie fans who take this stuff seriously and try to and make sure they understand how it all works. This doesn't work. This movie does not work at all plot wise. So you have to take the plot in this.
I will say I was surprised that he went to the grave site from Logan.
But he had to because it's funny. Okay.
It is funny. It is funny.
He had to
yeah.
because it's funny.
And that was a great scene. That was probably the best scene in the whole movie.
I wouldn't go that far, but it's funny, right? And so here's the deal: they decide on stage, like at the movie, they decide, you know what, our jokes are more important than the plot, and
Yeah.
that's fine. But you're going to lose some people who are interested in the plot. And if they had more writers, they probably could have did both jokes and plot. They didn't have enough writers, so they just said jokes, not plot, and that's fine. But
Yeah.
that's a sacrifice, and I think that's the biggest problem with this movie is the plot. Like you have to completely forget about logistics at all to understand this movie. Like,
Yeah.
is Wolverine in that timeline now? Is he in the Deadpool timeline? Like, what? Like, How's that work? Like, what's going on? Like, where? So
Well, at one point in the movie, Deadpool does go searching for other Wolverines and finds one.
that's okay. That to me was the funniest and best part of the movie. All the different
Yeah.
Wolverines. The
Okay.
the comic.
I love the first one.
Which one was that?
The comic book accurate height Wolverine.
I couldn't stop laughing. That was really hilarious.
That was great.
They had an Age of
Because he looks normal,
Yeah.
totally, until he hops off the bar
So
stool.
funny.
Yeah.
They did an Age of Apocalypse version. They did a couple different really cool deep dive X-Men that were really cool. You saw the Wolverine in the brown suit versus the Hulk. That was really neat. It was just fan service, which was fun, and I really enjoyed it.
And don't forget the Cavalry.
Yeah, that was really Henry Cavill. That was really funny.
That was pretty good.
That was all of we're going to get to the cameos and guest stars.
He's surprisingly good as Wolverine, Henry Cavill.
Yeah, his muscles are too big, but that's fine. So that was great. And again, they had to sacrifice a lot of plot to make that work. And then you got Hugh Jackman. As Wolverine.
Did they really go into how he was popping through all those timelines? Was he using like something he took from the TVA?
he took the little device that we've seen in the Loki movies from Mr. Paradox, and he used that to travel through the different timelines. He only saw the device used for a second, but somehow was able to grab it and work it enough to travel.
Well, it's intuitive. It's intuitive.
Yeah, it's intuitive. Let's talk about the TVA for a second and Loki. You kind of have to watch all the Loki series to really enjoy this. Like, when I was watching, I was thinking they're really leaning into the TVA hard here. And no, seriously, the reason why you...
All right, so my daughter did not watch any of the Loki series, and she loved this movie.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah.
You let her watch this?
She's definitely old enough.
Okay.
She's almost 17.
Wow. Yeah, she's old enough.
Yeah.
But like, okay, but you watched all the Loki stuff and you enjoyed it probably more.
Probably. Yeah. Yeah, the TVA stuff made more sense to me, but I don't think he really needed it. I mean, they're time traveling thugs.
Yeah, but I will say this.
Mr. Paradox explains it enough, I think, to the audience.
He does explain enough, but if you watched the Loki series and you watched the TVA stuff, if you watched all that stuff, you have you are going to enjoy this far more, and some of the plot issues will make a lot more sense. One of the my biggest disappointment is they didn't show the tree timeline. They didn't show the actual graphic of the tree. I
was hoping we would see some kind of a cameo of Loki.
Yeah, that would have been cool. That would have been really cool. That would have been cool and really, really funny. But I mean, they probably had limited to how many guest stars they could have. They had quite a bit of guest stars in here.
Right. Right. Although I think you could have cut out Cassandra Nova.
We'll get to that.
And just had Mr. Paradox as the villain.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that. All right. All right. So now let's talk a little bit about, I guess, the cameos, and then we'll talk about Cassandra Nova.
Sure. Okay.
So how happy were you that you saw your childhood crush, Chris Evans? How excited were you when you saw him?
Okay, he was not who I was most excited about in this movie, but I did clock that was Chris Evans. Before he had the big reveal, I was like, okay, that's Chris Evans. But I thought it was, of course, and they were trying to make me think this. I thought it was Captain America.
Yeah, they wanted all of us.
I saw some red and blue underneath that.
Yeah,
yeah.
But then when he said "flame on," I was like, "Oh my god, they actually did that." they actually.
It was wonderful. Yeah.
Yeah, it was actually really good.
Right.
So part of this movie really wanted to do a couple different things. It was a love letter to the 20th Century Fox X-Men stuff, but it's also a love letter to all these old previous comic book stuff that we've seen over the years and kind of forgotten about or didn't care about. Like the Fantastic Four movies.
Weren't the Fantastic Four movies 20th Century Fox?
I guess so. I guess, right? I don't know.
I think they were.
Yeah, I guess so. We saw Elektra, which was definitely 20th Century Fox. I thought that was great. It was.
I loved that they said that Daredevil
And
died.
she's like, "It's okay."
And she's like, "It's okay.
It's fine. It's okay.
Yeah,
but
don't worry about it."
But dude, when Wesley Snipes showed up on screen, my theater, I don't know about your theater,
I clapped, dude. I clapped.
My theater exploded. Like everybody was cheering. People were super stoked. And I want to go,
dude. After seeing this movie, Marvel, kill whatever plans you have about Blade. Tell my dude you're sorry that he hung around for so long, and just do another Blade movie with Wesley Snipes.
I mean, I can't.
He's still got it. He's still got it,
dude. I can't describe to you when Wesley Snipes showed up. First, I was in shock. Then everybody was super cheering, like screaming, and like I was just thinking, that's dude. First of all, everybody in test screenings and Marvel and Disney know this now. And two, you're absolutely right, Mike. If we don't hear about Wesley Snipes' Blade in the next 6 months, they fail completely. I don't know what they have to do, but it's obvious. And the best thing ever was when Wesley Snipes says, "I'm the only Blade. I will always be the only Blade." And then like Deadpool just looks at the screen for an aggravated 3 seconds. It's like, I mean, it's kind of, they kind of have to. There's obviously some kind of energy around Wesley Snipes and Blade. People definitely want it, and I'm curious to see what they do next with it. Like, I'm curious, like some big wig somewhere in Disney is like, listen, test audiences loved Wesley Snipes, so let's see what's here. Because whatever they're trying to do with Blade's not working. Like, they've tried it for years now.
Absolutely.
It's not happening. And then you get like maybe 10 minutes of Wesley Snipes' Blade and people will just eat it up. Like, come on, this is ridiculous. Like, they're going to do something with it.
Right.
And plus, I agree. Like, Wesley Snipes still got it. He had some moves. His lines were funny.
Yeah. There was no problems with his performance at all. It was great.
Yeah. Another thing that I was really surprised about is Channing Tatum.
Channing Tatum.
He was supposed to play Gambit.
He's always wanted to be Gambit.
And then he was there. I thought it was fun. His accent was whatever, but I thought it was fun.
His accent was a joke.
Mm-hmm.
I think you could have made the same joke without his accent having been so hard to understand.
Yeah, that's another side thing I want to talk about later. Some of the audio was kind of off. Some of the jokes didn't hit because I couldn't hear them.
Yeah, but I love Gambit.
Yeah,
Gambit's one of my favorites.
Yeah, Gambit was fun.
Seeing Channing Tatum finally playing Gambit, I loved it.
Yeah,
I thought the costume was maybe a little bit too something.
No, it was too comic accurate. They were like, "We're going to make it exactly we're going to make it exactly like the comics." And I was like, "Whoa, there it is. It's comic."
Right.
It's a comic.
I thought they could have. I mean, I love that costume.
But they could have made it.
But I thought it could have been a little bit more real world. Does his chest piece need to be like hard plastic or whatever it was? I know. But it just that part seemed a little bit too much. Like, it needed to be a little bit more.
His moves with the cars looked great. I think he did.
He is like that Gambit. Why there hasn't been a Gambit? I mean, I guess it's just because 20th Century Fox has had it, but Gambit deserves a movie. Like, his ability is so cinematic.
Yeah, I think
it's ridiculous.
Whatever they're going to do with the next with a live action X-Men, Gambit should be a part of it. Also, we had Laura from X-23 from the Logan movie. She's a little grown up now, so she was there. It was really interesting.
Yeah, Daphne Keane. She was recently in the Acolyte, the Star Wars thing on Disney Plus. Yeah,
I haven't watched that. I think I watched half of the first episode. So it's as far as this is a tribute to 20th Century Fox. I think they did a fantastic job with that. A lot of villains were from 20th Century Fox. I thought that was really great. Like Sabretooth, we got Pyro, we got Toad. Not the original Toad, but a Toad. We got they did a really good job they had a lot of fun. But let's go to Cassandra Nova. Here's the deal, Mike. You gotta have a villain for a movie like this, even though you don't want one. And I think that Mr. Paradox could have been the villain at the end. But Cassandra Nova, I thought she was creepy. I thought she did a very good job. What's the actress's name?
Emma Corrin?
Yeah,
Who I have no idea who that is.
No, me neither. But she did. I think she did great. I think she was creepy. I didn't want to be. I did not want to be in the same room with her. I thought her powers were represented very well.
Powers were very creepy, putting her hands in people.
Yeah, that's actually comic accurate. She does that in the comics too.
Oh, really? Okay.
So Cassandra.
It was very creepy.
Cassandra,
I had to look away from the screen a little bit.
Yeah, Cassandra Nova is from the Mark Miller Frank Quietly Uncanny X-Men that they did, and he's like Frank Quietly draws creepy things anyway. So if you can imagine Cassandra Nova as a drawn character, it's how it was. And like
I kind of wanted a little bit of background as to why they were inside of a giant Ant-Man.
Well, listen, you want jokes, or you want plot? Which one? You can't have both right now. Okay.
Right. Right.
But I think Cassandra Nova was fine. I thought she was fun. And as a villain, I thought she worked pretty well. She was pretty intimidating, pretty powerful. But the one character and actor in this movie,
isn't she defeated like pretty like midway through the movie?
What do you mean? Say again?
Like, isn't there still a good bit of movie after she's defeated?
No, at the very end when she blows up, there's like about another 10 minutes.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But I think Hugh Jackman as Wolverine just nails it. Like there was that one scene where they're in the car and Logan's like yelling at Deadpool because Deadpool's a jerk. I thought that whole rant was delivered very well. I think all of Wolverine's lines are great. I think all the different ways, like I think Logan's motivation was a little iffy. That they didn't write the Wolverine's story about how he failed his universe wasn't really written very well. So it really wasn't. But
we don't really know, do we?
He said that he got drunk and then he came back and the humans killed all the X-Men and then he kind of just went and killed a bunch of people. That's all he really said. But we don't really. It's not really good. But Hugh Jackman takes what he has and works with it extremely well. Listen, there is no other Wolverine but Hugh Jackman. He nailed that.
Do you believe, Deadpool, that Kevin Feige is going to be making Hugh Jackman be Wolverine until he's 90?
It's funny how Hugh Jackman on screen didn't seem to disagree that much. And it's also telling that he is alive and well at the end of the movie.
Right.
If this movie makes a lot of money, which it probably will, I can see them doing something. How old is Hugh Jackman?
Let me click here and see. He has
to be 55.
You would think that would be like one of the. He was born in 1968. Can you do math?
No.
It's too early in the morning for me to do math.
Just go to Wikipedia. They always have his age right there. He's 55.
I'm on IMDb. Why is that
he's 55.
Okay. Yeah.
IMDb
trademarks ruggedly handsome features.
Here's the deal. Does Hugh Jackman want to do Wolverine at 55?
I mean, he did.
I don't know.
He did.
Would you go see another Wolverine movie with Hugh Jackman? Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll just wait.
I want to see another James Bond movie with Pierce Brosnan.
Okay, that's not going to ever happen. That's not.
People were recently talking about that on.
That's not going to happen
on the social media.
It's not. That's not going to happen. Pierce
Brosnan probably isn't, but I would love it.
Pierce Brosnan looked old.
He's still got it.
No, he doesn't. He barely had his last
old
movie.
Old man James Bond.
No. Anyway, going back to Hugh Jackman, was that his body when his shirt got blown off? Was that his actual physical body? There's no way.
I think so, dude.
At 55, he looks like that.
I think so.
And then plus, okay, he's
got like lots of he's got lots of stuff going on, and
what are you talking
they
about?
Dehydrate themselves for 3 days before those scenes.
Oh, okay, yeah. Also, I mean, come on.
He's got like probably 2 personal nutritionists.
Yeah.
He's probably got like 3 trainers.
Yeah, he probably looks
and good. He dehydrates himself for 3 days before he shoots that scene.
And also, I mean, come on. He had the comic accurate suit, and then at the very end, he puts on the actual Wolverine mask, which I did not see coming.
Right.
And that was, I mean, after that, I was
kind
like,
of flips it up.
Yeah. After that, I was like, this movie, it has it all. It really does have it all. I mean,
You really enjoyed this movie. It sounds like,
I was torn because
even though you tried to hate it, it sounds like you enjoyed it.
it's okay. Ryan Reynolds is a very charming guy.
Yeah, he is.
The movie itself is a very charming movie, and so you can't deny it. Even one of my favorite actors, he's not my favorite actor, but he's an actor I like. What's his name? The guy who plays Peter, he was great. What's his name?
Yeah.
Rob Delaney. Yeah, Rob Delaney. He's
Yeah.
great. Yeah, and so I mean, even Jennifer Garner, she pulled off Electrifying.
She was good. Yeah.
And so this movie's this is a rated R movie. You cannot bring your kids to this. There's a lot going on.
Right.
But at the same time, if you want to laugh, if you genuinely want to laugh, if you watch some Marvel movies, you like Ryan Reynolds and you want to laugh, you can go see this movie. But are some of the jokes crude and over the top?
Yes, of course. It's a Deadpool movie.
Does it get old after a while? Yes. Does the plot make any sense? Absolutely not. And I think I don't know how.
But it was a fun ride all the way through.
Yeah, it was a fun ride.
You can't argue that. Yeah.
But
like, this is the ideal popcorn movie.
Yeah, 100%. I don't know what you do with this movie if you're Marvel trying to work this movie into the lexicon of Marvel movies. I guess you just leave it as
you don't really need to.
Is there going to be another Deadpool movie? Probably, but I'm not sure how it's going to look or what's going.
I think at the end of this, Deadpool is officially part of the MCU. Hugh Jackman is apparently officially part of the MCU as Wolverine.
Yeah, I mean, all of it's done at this point. This is the last movie that needed to be worked in, so it's all there. Yeah. And I mean, we can't forget the Ryan Reynolds speech about the multiverse. I'm sure you love that conversation. He's like, Disney multiverse is dead. Multiverse, and like he was giving a thumbs down to the multiverse. You saw that, right?
That may have been when I went to the bathroom.
Oh well, there's a prolonged discussion about because when all the multiverse Deadpools show up. He breaks the fourth wall once again and says, "Listen, this whole multiverse thing not working. You need to get rid of it."
Yeah, yeah, I agree.
But it looks like just from some news from CDCC, that's not going to happen.
I like how they didn't really get into all those Deadpools.
No,
like, it's just
it's a joke. It's a joke. It's all a joke.
Yeah,
and jokes don't have to have logical connections. They don't have, but at the same time. If you like Marvel movies and you...
Nathan Fillion played the floating head Deadpool.
Okay, Nathan Fillion did what, 3 lines?
I don't know, 10 lines maybe?
Yeah, maybe, I don't know. It is what it is, it's fine.
And Ryan Reynolds' wife played Lady Deadpool.
Well, how come she had a mask on the whole time?
I'm looking at the cast.
That can't be true.
Yeah, Blake Lively played Lady Deadpool.
She was in that costume?
That's what it said.
Okay, I don't know about that.
One of his children played the child Deadpool.
Okay. Right.
And then another one of his children played the baby Deadpool.
How many kids does he have?
I don't know, dude. I'm just reading the cast here.
All right, so let's just wrap it up. Let's give it a grade.
What'd you think of that epic Sabretooth battle?
It wasn't that epic. It was really fun. I thought all the fight.
It was pretty good though. I was surprised. I was surprised that it was ever that quickly.
I wanted to talk a bit about some of the action scenes. Some of the action scenes, that specifically the one with Wolverine and Deadpool in the car. They're so action scenes are basically dance scenes, but violent. So when you look at a fight scene, it's basically it's a choreographed dance scene. So it's supposed to have the same kind of energy to it, but it's a fight scene. It felt oddly, weirdly intimate. Like it felt very I've seen a lot of fight scenes in my time. And these fights,
the one in the car, in the Honda Odyssey,
yeah. But it's something about the fact that they were stabbing each other constantly. They had it's going to sound strange, but it had a strange sexual tinge to me. I can't really describe it much, but beyond that, that could just be because we've seen so many fight scenes in this movie that after a while I was just getting numb. And I
didn't get that from that scene, but I could see how two people going at it in a minivan.
Yeah.
could trigger something for you.
There was
I don't
something.
know.
There was something there. And also, I mean, how many times were people getting stabbed in the genitals? Like what, 1,000? It's like after Ryan Reynolds is who he is, but after a while, it's like, okay, uh, what's going on here?
I didn't get tired of it.
Okay, that's fine. Maybe it's just me.
Yeah.
I'm kind of happy that we're at the end of this X-Men Wolverine Deadpool thing that we've done.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just been a long time. I'm just like, okay, we're good. I'm tired.
Hey, speaking of Happy,
Yeah, Happy
there
Hogan
was a
was in it.
scene with Happy Hogan in the movie.
But again,
I want to know. So when I was watching that, I wasn't sure, is Jon Favreau playing himself as the director of Iron Man, or is he playing Happy Hogan?
he's playing Happy Hogan.
Because like he's talking about the big man, you know, Ryan Reynolds is talking about the big man.
He's talking
I'm
about
like,
Tony Stark.
is that Kevin Feige or is that Iron Man?
I think it was supposed to be a little bit of both. But again, that scene was too tongue-in-cheek. It didn't really make a lot of sense to me. And I don't know if it should have been there. And that's kind of indicative of the whole movie. There's so many different things in the movie that were done for fan service and for laughs that the actual
Right.
logistical stuff of it just doesn't make any sense. But it is what it is.
I think it needed to be, I don't know, it needed to be called out as more of a flashback than I think it was.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. But anyway, good movie. Thumbs up.
What grade would you give this movie?
I think I have two grading scales, right? I've got like a Marvel movie grading scale,
This
and then
this is the first.
I've got an every movie.
This is the first I've ever heard of this new grade.
Well, I've been conflicted when giving out some of these grades.
Just give it a grade. Let's give it a grade.
B plus.
All right.
A minus.
I would give this movie a solid B. That's okay. It. But it works too hard to get that B. It's like a constant.
I think if I'm giving it like a Marvel movie ranking, it's going to get like an A minus.
Yeah. It's not my favorite Marvel movie, that's for sure, but it's up there.
No, yeah.
And like we're not getting anything else this year, so then that's you can really do.
Right.
All right.
What'd you think of the end credit scene? Did you stay around for
yeah, but I feel like it was a waste. Like it's just another joke. And like after another joke, another series of penis jokes and foul mouth jokes on top of a bunch of other penis joke, foul mouth jokes. It's like, okay,
right,
one last one. You know? I don't know. I do think that the way that Johnny Storm was killed by Cassandra Nova was a bit gross to me. It felt very over the top at the end of that. It's like,
yeah, that was like Mortal Kombat style.
Yeah, it was like rough. Like it was rough to watch, and also you had no preparation that was going. You knew something was going to happen to him, but you didn't know it was going to be on that level. Which is like, okay, it's fine. Anyway, that was Deadpool and Wolverine. You should probably prepare yourself for a Deadpool Wolverine 2 in the next 2 years because it's going to make some money. That's just how it is.
Yeah.
All right. So we've got news you can't abuse, which is actually huge. I do want to tell our listeners that we are going to have a follow-up episode next week that's going to sum up everything we learned from San Diego Comic-Con because we didn't have time to do it today. But the biggest news is, and I don't know even how to say this. First, the next Avengers movie is called Avengers Doomsday. So this
is the Kang Dynasty movie that got
that's gone, which we predicted. And so Dr. Doom's gonna be a villain, obviously. And Robert Downey Jr. Robert Downey
Jr. is returning to the MCU to play Dr. Doom.
It's almost hard to say that out loud.
Yeah. Is he going to be Tony Stark as Dr. Doom, or is he just going to be an actor playing Dr. Doom?
Here's 3 things they can do. Are you ready?
Okay.
They can cast Robert Downey Jr. as Dr. Doom, ignore everything that he's ever done, and just say he's just an actor playing a character. No big deal.
Right.
That's 1. 2, some multiverse shenanigans where in this multiverse, the Robert Downey Jr. person that you see is actually Victor Von Doom. 3, Tony Stark at some point becomes Dr. Doom in a different universe. It's probably going to be some multiverse shenanigans. I know that Marvel and
I
Disney.
I hope not. I prefer
Well,
this is just Robert Downey Jr. playing a different character.
I don't. See, here's the deal. That could happen, Mike, and here's why. Doctor Doom doesn't take his mask off. So when you say that Robert Downey Jr. is going to play Doctor Doom, it could just be a voice acting.
He's never taken his mask off?
He doesn't take his mask off. And when he does, he's horribly scarred. Like his face.
Awesome. Perfect. Then.
So,
if they stay true to that.
But here's the deal, Mike. Doctor Doom does not exist in the current, like, sacred timeline, quote unquote, MCU with the Avengers. He doesn't exist in that world. He exists, we think, in the Fantastic Four movie coming out. But we don't know anything. And
this is coming out in 2026, right?
Yeah, it's like less than 2 years from now.
So is the Fantastic Four movie coming out first?
Yeah, it has to. Yeah, it has to.
Okay.
So listen, we don't like to theory craft here. We don't like to make stuff up without any kind of facts just to get clicks and stuff like that. That's not ever where we've been. But there's going to be some answers to this at some point. I think we have to wait for the Fantastic Four movie to come out. But apparently, this is the first time that I've felt that Disney and Marvel have like an actual plan. The Russo brothers are coming back to make this movie, which means it's going to be good. Period.
They're going to do both Avengers movies. They're going to do Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars.
And the Russo brothers aren't going to do these movies unless they have control of the story, which means they're going to have to start prepping for the story now. So there's Captain America, Brave New World, the Fantastic Four movie, and any other things that come out before that. There might be one more movie before Doctor Doom, but I don't think so. So right now, from where I'm sitting, the Russo brothers and Disney and Marvel have 2, maybe 3 movies to prep for Doctor Doom's Doomsday. And actually, I don't think they have 3. I think they have just 2. Because Captain America comes out in early 2025 and Fantastic Four comes out late. So we only have 2 movies to prep for Doctor Doom for Avengers Doomsday. So they have a lot of work to do between now and then. I don't know what they're going to do.
Yeah,
that's crazy to me. That's absolutely crazy, but it's also exciting to me too because it feels like we have a plan. Finally, we have a place we're going. Which is fun.
Right. Well, which of those options are you hoping for? You like me? You just hope it's Robert Downey Jr. playing another character?
I want a bit of both. I hope it's Robert Downey Jr. playing a different character in the Fantastic Four movie, which is a different universe. So I know that flips you out, but I feel like they can't get away from this multiverse thing too much because it's just how it is. The Fantastic Four is already set in a different universe than the main Marvel stories. So they're going to have to just deal with it. But I think this will be the last time they'll deal with it. And it kind of feels like the last hurrah for Marvel movies, to be honest with you. It feels like after Doomsday and the Secret Wars, it feels like all the gas is out the tank. This is the last bit.
Well, we've been saying at some point they got to blow this stuff up and have a clean reset, right?
I don't think it's going to be a reset as much as it's going to be we're done and let's do something else.
Well, they're not going to be done. They're going to make more Marvel movies.
They'll make more movies, but I don't know if they'll make more movies based off Marvel IP. Yeah, but I don't.
Right.
But I think what we've seen as far as a cohesive universe with multiple characters in different movies, I think that's about to go away. Which is fine. I think everything.
I hope so. Actually,
everything has to end at some point. Let's end it on a high note. Let's end it with the Russo brothers doing Secret Wars. Let's end it on a high note and have fun with it. But I'll tell you this right now. I just watched the trailer for Captain America: Brave New World. I got super stoked again. Every time I watch that trailer, I'm like excited. The Fantastic Four.
It looks good. Good.
The Fantastic Four,
except for the Hulk being red. I don't know what's up with that.
Well, we'll talk about that closer to the time we get to it. Fantastic Four, I'm sure it's going to be great. They got some good actors there. Robert Downey as Dr. Doom is going to get all these people who left the Marvel movies and say, I'm done, I don't want to watch anymore. They'll come back because they're curious about Robert Downey Jr. as Dr. Doom. And then the Russo brothers doing the 2 movies. It's a grand slam. I think it's good. So we've had...
And then give us an Old Man Blade movie.
Yeah. No. You...
Do it.
Let's listen, listeners. You're going to get Wesley Snipes' Blade again. Wesley Snipes has nothing else.
Wesley
Snipes has nothing else to do. everybody flipped out when they actually saw him as Blade. You're going
Mm-hmm.
and the Blade movie has been stalled forever. You're going
Right,
to
right.
get. And to be fair, Mashallah Ali, when he was announced for Blade, it was never said that he was going to be Blade. It was said he was going to be in Blade. So we'll see. We'll see. I like Mashallah Ali. I would take Mashallah Ali as Blade all day long, but I mean, they have to make the movie, and so far they haven't done anything. So
Yeah, I mean, at some point, you got to wonder where the problem is, and
I don't know.
there's one person that's been there for all the problems.
Yeah, Mashallah Ali. That's true.
Yeah,
So
I don't know.
So next week we're going to do I'm going to do my homework, and we're going to do a SDCC wrap up. I'm going to go through all the different news.
I'm excited for that,
and we'll do a nice little wrap up of the SDCC.
because I haven't been following it any other way, so this is going to be my way of learning what happened there.
Yeah, there you go. So and they will figure out what other stuff we're going to talk about moving forward. That's the but next week SDCC. All right. Anything
Exciting
else?
stuff.
Anything else, Mike? Anything going on?
No,
I think that's it.
Oh, I will say this is my first recording in a new house.
Yeah.
There may be some echo.
You get used to it after a while.
I'll try to fix it, but listeners can help by going to our Patreon. Link is in the show notes.
Send us some cashola.
Send us a little bit of cashola our way, and I can afford some sound treatments for this room.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
So, Mike, how besides Patreon, how else can our listeners connect to us?
We are on Mastodon and Threads. Hit us up at either location. Also, hit that share button. Share this with your friends, your family, and who else can they share it with?
Their friends, their family, and also their friends and family from the different multiverses. So, your multiverse friends and family.
Multiverse friends and family.
We would like this podcast not to be just
point.
for this main timeline, but for all other timelines as well.
That's very true. That's very true. We've always said that.
My multiverse counterpart from Universe 2385, Point D, showed up the other day asking for money. Apparently, in that universe, this guy's like a con artist. So,
okay. Yeah.
Which is fine, but I gave him a couple bucks just so he'd leave me alone.
Right. Yeah.
But anyway, we got a lot more news to cover. A lot of cool stuff happening in the MCU and stuff like that. The train's not stopped yet, so we're gonna keep going. We appreciate you guys listening to us.
Future's looking bright.
The future's looking brighter.
There we go.
Yeah, future's looking brighter. All right.
Right.
We'll see you guys next week.